Now, let's return to the US because today is the deadline for the Department of Justice to report to the judge about actions it has taken in regards to returning Abrigo Garcia, a Maryland man who was wrongly deported to El Salvador last month. The Supreme Court ordered the DOJ to facilitate his return. But Donald Trump has refused, and in that wide-ranging interview with ABC News we were playing you, marking his 100 days in office, the president acknowledged he could secure the return of Mr. Garcia if he wanted to, but he doesn't.
This is a MS-13 gang member, a tough cookie, been in lots of skirmishes, beat the hell out of his wife, and the wife was petrified to even talk about him, okay? This is not an innocent, wonderful gentleman from Maryland.
I'm not saying he's a good guy. It's about the rule of law. The order from the Supreme Court stands, sir.
He came into our country illegally.
You could get him back. There's a phone on this desk.
I could.
You could pick it up, and with all the power of the presidency, you could call up the president of El Salvador and say, send him back right now.
And if he were the gentleman that you say he is, I would do that.
But the court has ordered you to facilitate that.
I'm not the one making this decision. We have lawyers that don't want to do this.
But the buck stops in this office.
No. I follow the law. You want me to follow the law? If I were the president that just wanted to do anything, I'd probably keep him right where he is.
Supreme Court.
Well, let's speak live to Eric Faddis, a criminal defence attorney and former prosecutor. Welcome here to BBC News. What did you make of what the president was saying there?
Well, you know, it's pretty consistent with the pattern of the Trump administration to kind of push the envelope, to test the waters legally, to kind of see what they can get away with. And that's been a common theme of the Trump administration, and also sort of defiance of people who are trying to resist him, in this case, the judiciary.
In terms of this deadline, what are you anticipating? Are you going to see any movement from the White House, or a consistent approach that they've done what they've done and they're not moving from it?
Matthew, there's kind of been an ongoing stalemate, really, between the judiciary and the executive branch, of which Trump is the head. The Supreme Court has ordered him to facilitate the return of Mr. Garcia. Trump has been pretty defiant and clear that he is not going to go out of his way to even make a phone call to do that. I anticipate this matter is ultimately going to go up to the Supreme Court, and the Supremes will decide.
In terms of the broader policy, we heard the president saying the crackdown is working. Is he right about that? We were showing on our screens a graphic a little earlier about the number of border encounters, and it is way down, just over 7,000 compared with 140,000 of March last year.
Yeah, Matthew, Trump surely promised to address the immigration issue, to ramp up deportations, to limit border crossings. And by those metrics, he has followed through on that promise. Now, there are still ongoing concerns about the ways in which he has done that and whether they comport with the United States Constitution.
Final sentence, if you could. Do you expect, ultimately, the Supreme Court to intervene in this?
I think ultimately they're going to have to. It sounds like Trump and the DOJ, Department of Justice, is not really going to comply with the court's order to facilitate Mr. Garcia's return, or to provide information regarding what they have done and what they haven't done to comply with that court's order. So I think that the Trump will remain defiant. The matter will be appealed all the way to the highest court, and the highest court will again have to decide on the ultimate issue of whether Trump has operated lawfully and consistent with the Constitution in terms of his immigration policy and the effectuation thereof.
Eric, good to talk to you. Thanks for joining us on the program.
Good to be with you.